Match preview, Bayer Levekusen versus West Ham, the Europa League Quarter-Final, first leg. I'm nervous. I can't deny it. I really am. I've been a bit of a mixed bag of emotions, but today's more nervous. I don't know why. I've been quite excited about it, actually, leading up to it. But I think now it's getting a bit closer. It's becoming a bit real. You start to... you start playing in your mind, don't you? What's going to happen? How we're going to fare out there? Obviously, we've got some injury updates in terms of and availability in the squad, which is not ideal for this. Of course, you want every player available. But that being said, although I'm nervous, and I think understandably so, I'm sure you are as well. There's a little bit of feeling of nerves. I also do have belief as well in this. I really do. Not necessarily for this part of the game, i.e. the tie, the first match away. But overall, but let's talk about Bayer Levekusen first of all, before we talk about West Ham and the team, etc. Amazing story this season. An incredible side, and it's remarkable how well they've done. It is incredible. It's up there with one of the stories of Europe this season, isn't it? In football, it's great to see. It's great to see a giant like Bayern Munich getting dethroned at last. You know, how boring is it seeing one team win it time and time again out there, being a very dominant side, and obviously quite funny being that Harry Kane's gone out there to win his titles, etc. And this is what happens. But that take nothing away from Leverkusen. They've been amazing, and Xabi Alonso, quite rightly, is being now regarded as one of the best managers around at the moment. Obviously, he's sort of hot property, isn't he, because of what he's done at that football club. I don't think even people that support Bayer Levekusen, people that work at the club, I don't think ever could have dreamed that they'd have done as well as they have. I mean, they're on the cusp of clinching the Bundesliga title. I think that's the first time in 11 years, isn't it? I think Bayern Munich have won it 11 years on the spin. So remarkable achievement. And not only are they're going to win it, but to comfortably won it. You know what I mean? They are way ahead of Munich. They are miles ahead. I think 16 points, and it's something ridiculous. I mean, they're cruising towards the title, and remarkable achievement. And the fact they're unbeaten this season is just stunning, isn't it? I mean, that really is. It's one of those, because we're obviously not close to it as such. I mean, I don't overly watch a lot of German football. But obviously, I keep track of what's going on, and I just think it reminds me of the Leicester City. It reminds me of something like that, like the underdog just doing the unthinkable, and it's great. It really is special, and fair play to them. And here they are now. They're in the Europa League quarter-final. They're facing us, and let's be honest, right? The outside football world are all believing that Leverkusen are going to win this. Leverkusen are going into this unbelievably as the favourites. There's no two ways about it. West Ham are very, very much the underdog in this. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. And I'll come to that in a bit, but I really don't. I don't think that's a bad thing for us at all to be regarded as a team that's not going to get through. They're effectively being written off by a lot of people. Not necessarily... Leverkusen. I don't think Leverkusen are effectively writing off West Ham, but I think in general, if you talk to a lot of football fans, especially rival fans, etc., they just effectively think West Ham got absolutely zero chance of getting through here. But yeah, it's been a remarkable season for them. They're on course for a treble. If they win the league, they can win the Europa League, also win their domestic cup. So that's what a position to be in. One thing that's worth noting about Leverkusen, however, is that they can clinch the title this weekend. This Sunday, if they win the game, they can clinch the title. I'd like to think, actually, that's going to play into our hands a little bit. I don't think it's going to play into our hands massively. He's certainly not going to be resting his players and putting out his academy lads. That's not going to be the case. But just thinking about the mentality, if you've got a huge moment coming around the corner, and bearing in mind this is a big moment for them that's about to arrive in terms of lifting a trophy, lifting the league title, you do wonder where some of the minds are going to be at. I.e., are they going to be slightly distracted, even if it's just 5%, even if they're 95% focused on West Ham, but they've got one eye on Sunday thinking we really want to get there, we really want to clinch that title and have our party, etc. That could play in our favour. I'm not saying it will, but it could play a little bit of a helping hand for us a little bit. But that being said, they have shown time and time again this season, Leverkusen, that they're just relentless. You know what I mean? They're just getting results. They grind results out, even when they're not playing so badly, playing so well. Sorry, they still get the results. And you know, you've only got to look at their Europa League form to see that. And what I mean by that is that they haven't actually been that great in the Europa League. They really haven't. They've not been blowing teams away. They've not been a side that you've gone, wow, they are clearly going to go and lift that trophy. Far from it, actually. Is it Karabag they beat, wasn't it, in the last 16 round? And you know, they're not a great side. And Leverkusen struggled. They really did struggle in those games. And I watched them. I watched those games because obviously you start now thinking the teams you might be playing against. And I've got to admit, I was a bit underwhelmed with Bayer Levekusen. I didn't watch it and think, wow. I just thought, okay, they look all right. They look a decent side, but that's about it. They did not look that convincing. And again, much like I was saying about the league title for them this Sunday, giving me a little bit of hope, that also gives me a little bit of hope. That you look at the Europa League form and think, well, okay, they're not blitzing teams here. But it's going to be a tough game. There's no getting around it. This is a very, very tough game for West Ham. And we, as I've said, we are going into it firmly as the underdogs. I usually pick some players out, actually, that I quite admire from Leverkusen or opposition players. They've got so many, haven't they? They're really. I look at Leverkusen because I think of the Tim Steidten link. I just think that could be us. This could be West Ham in the future. This is what we could be aspiring to be. Not saying winning leagues and stuff and all that. Like, we are 16 points in just in April. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm suggesting is that this could be the sort of style that we see. You know, the recruitment strategy of that club has been remarkable. They don't have a budget. They don't have the riches of the West Ham even that we possess compared to them. They don't have a lot of money. They're just really, really good at their recruitment. And the fact we've got Tim Steidten now at the club does, you can see these things and think this could be us. This could be a bit of a snapshot of maybe something we can expect for the future. Again, just make it very clear. I'm not saying West Ham are going to win the league, all right? Because people will go, "What are you talking about, you idiot?" I'm not saying that. I'm just, you know what I mean, in terms of the style, in terms of the way they've gone about exploring the market, getting those players in. I think it's really impressive, and yeah, I've nothing but admiration for them. Boniface, of course, has been remarkable. Great forward for them. Wirtz as well, great player. Grimaldo. They've got some really, really good players, and if they get it right, I mean, Xabi Alonso, obviously I have to talk about him, got a wonderful start to his sort of professional career as a manager now, in terms of, he's still so young, it wasn't long ago he was playing, so he's done really, really well. But you kind of get the feeling with Leverkusen now, the fact that he's staying as well. He's announced that he's staying, which I think is fantastic for them, and bloody good on him as well for knocking back these bigger clubs. I get sick of it, don't you? Like every year, like you see like a success story somewhere, then they just come sniffing around. They did it at Brighton, they do it everywhere. Every time there's some sort of anything to enjoy from a smaller club, they just come in like fucking vultures and can't wait to take everything. Oh, we'll have him, we'll have the manager, we'll have this. And I just hate it. And I like the fact he's turned around and gone, I know Liverpool want me. I think Real Madrid were interested. Bayern Munich, of course Bayern Munich would be interested in him. And he's just gone, no, do you know what? I'm happy where I am. I like the project. I like where I just think, yeah, good on you. Good on you for rejecting that, because they would have paid him a lot more money. And I just think that's what you want to see. He's not going to be there for the next 10 years, I'm sure. I'm sure eventually he will take a bigger job. But I just think it's good that he hasn't done it after one season, and done well and then gone, right, I've got my move, I'm off. Because how many times have we seen that as well with managers, etc., that have done those big moves? Oh, that's it now. I'm proven. Let me go and take that huge job on. And then suddenly they're sacked after a few months, and then it's like their career starts stuttering, So no, fair play to Alonso for that. They're a great club, they really are, and fair play. But of course, they are the enemy now for West Ham, and we need to deal with them. It's going to be very, very tough, and we're in for it. It's going to be a bloody tough slog, I think, in Germany tomorrow night. It really is. It's going to be one that West Ham simply have to get right. But I'll tell you what, we've got reason to believe. We've got reason to be optimistic. And I really do mean that. I don't mean that just with like, Claret and Blue glasses on, being like, going with my heart, with my head. I'm saying this in my head. I actually do think West Ham can have a bit of belief in this. I really do. And when I say a bit of belief, real belief, I believe that we can do this. we're a good side. On our day, we're a decent side. I'm not saying we're right up there at the moment with Leverkusen. Obviously, of course, they've done really well, but there are reasons to be optimistic. First of all, Bundesliga. I mean, Bundesliga is not the Premier League. Nowhere near as good as the Premier League. It just isn't. It's no offence to it, but it just isn't, is it? Like we've just walked through Freiburg. You know what I mean? Easily when we was at our best players out, we just dealt with them, no problem at all. And they're considered a decent side in that league. So I just think we've experienced it out there. We've experienced German sides, and yes, that the atmospheres are intense, etc., etc. And that, as I said, Leverkusen are great, but we play bit harder teams than Leverkusen during our season. Not long ago. We beat Arsenal away not long ago. We've beaten Chelsea. We've had some big results this season. Beating Man United. These are big. These sides are not miles away from what we're experiencing here. You know what I mean? It's not as if we're playing, say, Man City away, a Barcelona away, then you think, my God. But Leverkusen, I feel slightly different. I do think there's a bit of belief there, a bit of reason to think, well, hang on. We have fared well, and we fare well in Europe, West Ham. We really do. Let's go on to West Ham. Let's talk about us. I mean, we've got a couple of big issues in this game. First one is Edson Alvarez is suspended, of course. It's just such a blow. These are the games you really need him. Just that solid midfielder, just to deal with it. You know what I mean? Just to protect that back line. It's such a shame without him. But we are without him. There's no point talking about it. It's just not worth the energy and getting pissed off and depressed about it. Just think, look, he's not part of it. Let's just focus on the players that we do have available, of course. And the other issue, is Jared Bowen, who's injured. He's not travelled. A huge blow losing Bowen, of course. Again, though, I still think there's reason to be optimistic. West Ham we're not a side like it was before when we've had, say, Dimitri Payet or something, where we've had a really bang average side, but then I won't say bang average, you know what I mean? Not the greatest, and then having a wonderful player. If he's out, you're completely crippled. West Ham have got some very good players. We've got, of course, we've got Lucas Paqueta, Mohamed Kudus. You've got James Ward-Prowse has been playing well. Souček's been good in good form, not bad. He grabs the goals, and we have got some really decent players. Mikel Antonio has been exceptional since he's come back. And we'll be relishing this game, no doubt. We've got some really good players. I think man for man, they beat us. In general. I think if you look at it at the moment, especially form as well, of course. And I think that probably goes to saying for Leverkusen against most teams in Europe this season. But on our day, we are bloody hard to beat. We are hard to beat and we're dangerous. We are a dangerous side, and we've proven it time and time again. As I've said, we are the underdogs in this game, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't. I think it will suit us. It will suit us going into this, going, look, do you know what? We don't need to go into this thinking, oh my God, like we're under so much pressure to get a win here. We're not expected to get a result. Let's go and upset the odds. I think that could suit us. West Ham are good in Europe. David Moyes is good in Europe. He bloody is. You know what I mean? There's no getting around it. His record in Europe is exceptional. We've been here before as well. This is not something we've never encountered. It weren't long ago we were going to Lyon. You know what I mean? Written off with no chance. West Ham have got no chance of going to Lyon and getting a win. Not only did we win, we won comfortably, won 3-0. We absolutely played amazingly well. We beat the Europa geniuses, the masters of the tournament in Sevilla. Knocked them out when we were written off. No chance. West Ham will never be able to beat them, and we did it. Yes, we won the trophy last season in the conference, which we didn't have the big glamour ties, but still, we went and done it. We handled it really well. We're a side that seems to cope with the pressures of Europe pretty well. We don't really ever seem to get phased. We're very good at getting the job done. Do you know what I mean? We're not fancy. We're not like the most amazing side. It's not like we're going to come and play some beautiful, wonderful football, but we're suited. Moyes' style kind of suits Europe. Just defend well. Just stay solid. Pick them off where you can. It just suits us. And that gives me hope. And then you think about, the intensity, the atmosphere. Well, as I've said, yeah, it is a little bit like, blimey, when you think of it in your mind. But then you remind yourself, well, hang on, we've been there before. We've been in the tough atmospheres. We've been in the hostile atmospheres, and we've handled it really well. We've dealt with it. We've dealt with the foreign referees. We've dealt with the odd decision making that sometimes you have to adjust your game. We're experienced. in Europe. We are becoming like a regular in Europe now, and we know how to handle these occasions. So there is a lot of reason to have hope, I believe, in this game. I don't think we need to go into it with dread and thinking we've just got no chance. I don't think we need to feel like that. I think we can think, well, do you know what? If we can get this right, if we can just keep ourselves solid, just keep ourselves difficult to beat, difficult to score against, then we've got every chance. We really have got every chance in this tie. The 2 games, I mean. And away, of course we have. For me, right, the plan is for this, don't get hammered. Just do not, you can't afford to lose by 3, you know what I mean? 2+ goals, really. We can't really afford that. 2-0 defeat is just about bearable if we were to lose this game. Just about a -2 goals difference. But ideally, if it's 1 goal, right? If it's 1 goal in this, if they come out of this, let's just say Leverkusen beat us 1-0, that is a good result. That we go to London, I'd think, do you know what? We could do this. We could level this up quickly and we could get back in this and we could go on and win. So I think that really has to be the forefront of David Moyes' thinking. I'm sure it is. It's just like we just want to get through this without conceding goals, to just get through this game and try and nick it. It'd be amazing, of course. I'm sure we will try and pose a threat. We will, because that's how we will play our counter-attack style. I'm sure of it. But we need our defence to be absolutely pinpoint, to be so on the ball. And they're going to need to be. But we're good at it. We have, all right, we've taken some hammerings this season. I'm not saying we're always good at it. But on our day, we are a hard side to beat. When that defence is really up for it, look at what we did at Arsenal. Kept them out the whole game. They could not beat us. They could not get through us. All right, look, they went and smashed us at our place. So, yeah, I'll take that. But I'm just referring to that game at the Emirates. You just got to look at games like that and think, you know what I mean? And we're against a top side and we just kept them out. We dealt with it. We played really well. On our day, we can. And this is going to need to be like that. It's one of them. This is one of them games where we have to be at our best. We just have to be. If we're to stand a chance to beat a side like Leverkusen, you're going to have to be at your best for both legs. And I've got hope that we will. I really do. I really do. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Really do want to know. I want to know how you're feeling about it. Because, as I say, I'm nervous. I've sort of talked myself confident a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit more now. I'm excited. You know what it's like. You get this mixed bag of emotions, don't you, going into this? And now it's getting close. The nerves are kicking in. The excitement's kicking in. It's all happening. And, yeah, it's a big one. But do you know what? I really do have belief in this. I really do. This is my team. And I'll give you my predicted score. And I want to know yours. If you get your predicted score in, you get it right, you win something from our shop. So do it. Got to be a subscriber as well. If you're not a subscriber, press it. It's free to do so. And you follow us on this amazing journey where we win the Europa League. I mean, you don't want to miss that, surely. Well, you won't miss it, but you'll just miss me talking about it. But you know what I mean. Let's do it. Let's do the team. This is what I think the team should be. I would go with Lucas Fabianski in goal. Areola, of course, is injured, and Fabianski's our cup keeper. I don't see that changing. And look, I'm not disappointed in Fabianski at the moment. I think it's been final season for me. I'm not. That's not really a concern. I'd rather Areola. I'll be honest. If I had to pick between the two, I would pick Areola. But I'm not. I don't look at Fabianski and think, oh no. Do you know what I mean? I'm fine. I'm not too uncomfortable with that. I'm going to go Ben Johnson at right back. I'm playing 3 defenders, sort of central defenders, as it were. Mavropanos, Zuma, and Creswell. And then Emerson as left wing back. So effectively a 5 at the back, but you can obviously change to a 3 or whatever. You know, you understand what I mean. I think we're going to need extra bodies in there. This is going to be a tough game. We're going to need to defend. And I think I've been impressed with Creswell. I think he's been all right since when he's been called upon. So I'm more than happy with that. I think we're going to need to bolster back line. We've got no Alvarez. We're going to need someone else in there. So I want Johnson, right wing back, Emerson, left wing back, and then the 3 sort of main defenders, Mavropanos, Zuma, and Creswell. And midfield. Now, midfield, I'm going to go for James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček. I've been impressed with them, actually. It's not the ideal pairing. It isn't, of course, the ideal pairing, but they work hard. They both work really hard, and they're going to need to work really hard. This is a big, big game for them. Big game, well, of course it is for everyone. And then this is the one I'm going to play. So I'm going to play Kudus out on the left, Paqueta out on Kudus out on the right, Paqueta out on the left, and then Antonio up front. So what I'm thinking is Paqueta effectively can play a bit of a free roaming game. Although I'd put him out on the left, I'd say you can come in. And I'd like them to be swapping. I'd like Antonio, Kudus, and Bayer all be swapping around throughout the game to confuse them. It's going to be a really tough game. This, sorry, I did my prediction. Let me do a prediction. I'll kind of go with my heart a little bit with this one. All right, I have gone with my heart. I've gone for 0-0. I know it's thrilling, exciting. I'm going to go for goalless draw. I don't know why. I just don't know why. I just get this feeling we're going to defend well. I'll probably give it the kiss of death now. We're going to get battered. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope that I've got the prediction right, or it's even better than that. It's got this feeling, you know what I mean, that we're going to be geared up for this. Be interesting to see how we handle this side. They are very... they're not so much direct, but they play quite fast passing, I find, and they do tend to go more central. Be interested to see how we handle their pass and movement. I think we're going to have to be very switched on in this game. But do you know what? I think the way they play, high press, high line, pushing up the pitch, I really think it could suit us. We're good. West Ham are good at absorbing pressure. We're good at setting up to go, you go for it. You have the ball. You do what you're going. We're just going to make life really difficult for you to get through this. And then we counter, and then we catch them out with set pieces, etc. That is David Moyes' style. We know that is what he is kind of geared towards. That is what his favoured kind of tactic and system is. And I think that will really suit this side. I really do. But I admit, like, I feel like as I'm saying these things at times, I do feel like I'm not clutching at straws, but I'm, you know, I'm very aware of what we're about to face as well. So I'm not deluded. I'm not sitting there going, you know what? Yeah, we're going to deal with this. It's going to be very tough. I'm under no illusions of it. But I have hope. I really do. And I think there's reasons, although I've said earlier I'm nervous, I think there's also reason to be excited. And why not? Because we're the underdog, eh? We don't need to go into this, you know, expected to win. It's going to be embarrassing if we don't. It won't. Let's just go and enjoy the occasion. West Ham have done well in Europe over the last few years. We're good at it. And if we get this right, if we get this spot on, there's nothing to say that we can't advance to semi-finals in this tournament.